What's good, y'all? This your country cousin Pete McCorvey, a.k.a. Peter Mac. Man, get on up here. Pull you up one, light you up one, kick your shoes off, relax, baby. You around family. We on the porch. It's Pete McCorvey's Porch Talk. Let's do this.
What's happening, family? This is your country cousin Pete McCorvey, a.k.a. Peter Mac. We back on the porch once more, but this is a very special occasion of why we're on the porch. This is the 20th episode of this season. Yes, we've hit 20 episodes. This the Golden State episode, dub. This the dub episode. I'm happy to be with y'all once again. Starting to get a little chilly out there. I know I've seen online a lot of y'all talking about y'all starting to turn your heat on and everything. And it's beautiful. I love this time of the year, to be honest with you. I love to be able to sit at home while watching my TV and I got the little space heater on. It's making that little noise. Because, you know, everybody can't afford a fireplace. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have a place that where I'm living at where I can afford a fireplace, but I sure can afford one of them space heaters. And that little noise can lull you to sleep and everything while you put you a good movie on. Because like we in, despite how people want to feel, we're in Christmas movie season. And I already told y'all about the one Christmas movie that I probably is going to be in my repertoire now. That's the Meet Me Next Christmas with Duval Ellis and Christina Milian and Kofi Sorboy. Yeah, so I'm not going to go. If you want to hear that, my review on that movie, go back to episode 18. I give a great review on that movie, but, you know, you can watch that. You can watch Home Alone. You can watch Die Hard. Yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie, despite what anybody wants to say, because everybody, how you equate that to a Christmas movie? Well, for one, he was going to his wife's Christmas party at the Tower in downtown LA that he ended up having that little debacle with Hans and all his henchmen. And on top of that, they did play Christmas songs. Like one they played, which I was shocked that they did that, especially with hip hop being in its mainstream infancy, because it had been around since mid-70s in New York. They actually played Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC in the scene where he was driving up to the building in the limo. And not only that, at the end, the ending credits was playing Bing Crosby's Let It Snow, as they did in the second one. They played A Christmas Carol at the end. So anybody that's claiming that's not a Christmas movie, you can argue with your bald head mammy, because that is a Christmas movie. That's one of my Christmas favorites. When December hit and we're on the other side of Thanksgiving, that's going to be one movie I'm going to put in rotation for the 25 days until it's Christmas. I cannot wait till we get to Black Friday and we officially in Christmas Eve, because that's going on. I might play Let It Snow by Boys to Men while I watch that. And I also want to say this to people. That song that's by the Temptations, the song is called Silent Night. It's not called In My Mind. I'm so sick of y'all black people talking about something. I want to hear In My Mind. No, it's Silent Night. It's their rendition of Silent Night. So y'all get that right and let's go. Social media. Oh my God, I love social media, because social media has been in a whirlwind. So I just want to know this with social media. What is the story with this dog that got his hands in his pockets with like the gray sweatshirt on, the Stonewashed jeans, and the red chucks, talking about I'm a chill guy? Where did y'all get that from? I need to know. I don't understand where he came from, but I'm gonna need him to go ahead and go the same way that the mural went, because y'all are wearing him out. And to be honest with y'all, I really think it's nothing more than somebody taking the picture of Kevin James in the publicity still he did for King of Queens when the show first came back in the early 2000s, where he kind of sit in the corner with his hands in his pocket, give a little light shrug with a little sly grin. that's pretty much look like somebody took that dog as a character of him doing that. But I need that to be wrapped up immediately, man. Please wrap that up, cause y'all, one thing about it, y'all know y'all can wear something into the ground. Like how y'all did with Kendrick Lamar, they not like us. Speaking of Kendrick Lamar, K-Dot just dropped an album yesterday. Didn't even know he was dropping, called G and X. I think it's a good album. I mean, it's showing this growth. A lot of people saying they loving it, but some people like, oh, y'all really just K-Dot lovers because there's nothing significant about this album. I don't understand. Y'all all want everybody to be who they was when you first met them. Kendrick Lamar is not that kid in his early 20s. All he know is Compton. The man has been around the world. He is a father of 2 children now. He is 37 going on 38 years old. He has to elevate. Same like with Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg went from being a Crip from east side of Long Beach to now the man is with Martha Stewart and selling sketches. And matter of fact, he got a T-Mobile commercial out. Everybody can't stay where you met them. And if they are where you stay where y'all met them at 20 years later, y'all need to be like kind of really like, damn, bro, you ain't elevated. So I like the growth. I mean, and I'm gonna tell y'all this. I like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I love that album. I ain't gonna say it's his favorite. My favorite of his is Good Kid, Mad City. That's gonna always be his opus to me. So I like the album. I give it a strong 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. So good album to me. Glad, like I said, 2024. We have been getting blessed with music this last quarter of a year. Oh my God. And I'm just loving this. 2024 is great. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know what Spotify is going to say for the music that I played a lot. Cause I played a lot of different music this year. So I'm happy about that. But also going on Spotify, I found out about a book that was released and actually got released last month and I didn't even know it. Sister Souljah just released her second sequel to her 1999 best-selling classic, The Coldest Winter Ever. This second sequel is called Love After Midnight. Now, let me start off with the positives about it. So, I found out about The Coldest Winter Ever doing like fall of 2005, like winter of 2006. The reason because I got it real big into reading at that time, especially reading urban fiction or hip hop fiction, hood classics. Oh, not hood classics, hood books. My brother's baby mama, she put me on to like hood literature like a year before with this book. It's called Bad Girls by Shannon Holmes, which was pretty much like, if you read it, it was like almost a North Philadelphia version of the Players Club, but it's a good book. And also its sequel, Bad Girls for Life, that's a good book too. But so I got on the Coldest Winter Ever and Sister Souljah like around about that time, because like the Hurricane Katrina just hit, so you know you couldn't really get on the computer, like you really couldn't get on the internet like that, couldn't really download a lot of stuff on LimeWire and things like that. So you pretty much had to, like, I was taking back, like I was getting like notebooks and writing in notebooks. Like I used to like, get on the computer and like type out like the stories and stuff, because like as y'all know, I like to write. Or I was just reading any book I get my hand on. So I ended up getting my hand on The Coldest Winter Ever, because I think like I seen a couple of girls reading that as well as them Zane books. And that's when I really found out like, oh yeah, the Sex Chronicles completely changed my mind. I'm like, oh, these girls really are nasty. They not clean cut. They just clean cut if they don't like you like that. They like you like that. They some filthy, disgusting animals. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Just like how they say little boys don't like little girls, say little girl. I remember I was talking to one of my friend's sons, He's like 5 years old. I said, how you feel about it, little girl? He said, they icky. I said, yeah, you hate them being, I said, they stay icky when they get older. I said, but the difference is you hate them being icky now, but you're going to love the hell out of them being icky when you get older. Yeah. And needless to say, his wife wasn't too happy about that. He thought it was hilarious and he was laughing. But yeah, so, like I said, one of those books was The Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Souljah. She was a real big advocate for black empowerment and the hip-hop movement in the early 90s. It's the first book she ever wrote. So it tells a story of this girl named Winter Santiago who was born to this prominent drug dealer in Brooklyn throughout like the mid 70s to like the early to mid 90s. She was very beautiful, but she grew up in the projects, and all she know is like project life. Like she ghetto fabulous. Like the way, if you read the book, the way she speak, her vernacular, she's ghetto fabulous, very sexually promiscuous, and very in love with material things. Like if it ain't name brand, she ain't rocking it, and she's very in love with herself. And this book tells the tale of how after tragedy hits her family, she has to use her wits and everything to get by. But the book ultimately ends in her hooking up with a guy that she knew from her projects who ended up becoming a big-time dope dealer. She ends up in a fight with somebody on the block. They was trying to make a drug run. The cops pull up, the man abandons the car. She's stuck with the dope and the guns. She gets locked down for 15 years. Like, it ends with her, 5 years into, a 15-year sentence. And it's supposed to be a cautionary tale. But, as we can see from side, a lot of the women did not understand that. They just all saw, she was having fun. She was wild and she was rocking this and rocking that. Because the thing with Winter's character was, while she thought she was manipulating a lot of these guys, I can use this and I can have his head blown because I'm so pretty and I'm so beautiful and they'll love to do and they do all this. The thing was, these dudes knew this girl is turned on by material things and just, she's narcissistic. So I can play into her love for material goods and her narcissism. I got her. And she kept getting screwed over every time and couldn't realize this a game in you. But she just thought she was so smarter than everybody. Now, thought it was a good book. I love the language of it because I felt like I was right in Brooklyn in the early 90s, the mid 90s when this took place. Then she followed it up back in 2021 with her sequel, Life After Death. Now, there's been a rumor going around for years after she wrote that said that she had somebody ghost write The Coldest Winter Ever for her. And I'm going to be honest, after I read Life After Death, which is the second book in the Winter Santiago series, I totally agree with it. And it's not just, I'm going to be honest, it wasn't just Life After Death that made me think that she didn't pen The Coldest Winter Ever. It's other books she wrote, like her Midnight series. For those of y'all, I didn't say this. Midnight was Winter's crush in The Coldest Winter Ever. He was a young lieutenant who worked for her father, muscular, well-groomed, definitely handsome as Winter. And Winter wanted this man more than her next breath. But he could never get her because she was just too ignorant for him. She just was not deep enough. And he was a dude that thought on another level. Come to find out, later in the book, in letters he wrote back and forth to Sister Souljah, he had a correspondence with, because Sister Souljah put a fictionalized version of herself in the book. He was from the Sudan. He came from almost royalty over in the Sudan, devout Muslim. and just had knowledge of self, real righteous, and then somehow ended up in the Brooklyn Projects and all that. But this is where the water started getting murky. When I tried to read her Midnight series, and it was just, something was off. One, some of the stuff he claimed happened to him in the Coldest Winter Ever didn't happen in Midnight. And my thing was this was a paradox. If you're supposed to be this uprighteous dude who's a Muslim, why are you involved in the drug trade like that? You know, because the one thing he did in his books, he just dogged black American life to a pulp. He complained about every aspect of black American life to the point I had to put the book down. I'm like, I can't even finish this. This is ridiculous. Like, I couldn't even finish the Midnight. So I got like halfway through the first Midnight book and put it down. On to, like I said, Life After Death. This woman, I don't know what the hell was going on with Sister Souljah when she wrote the Coldest Winter, Life After Death. But if hell is anything like what she described in that book, I will know parts of it, because the book starts out with Winter's getting released from jail. She gets shot in the back of the head while she's coming out the gates. And her soul goes between hell and purgatory. Now, that got me why I didn't like this book. Winter is supposed to be 33 years old because she spent 15 years on lockup. The girl still acting and talking like she's 18. Just ignorant, dumb, screwing anything that will show her any kind of attention. She comes face to face with the devil himself and still thinks she can outwit the devil. And then the end of the book, it was, she saw a light flash behind, because it was kind of her last chance whether she'll go to heaven or go to hell. Saw a last flash for her eyes, and she still don't want to take accountability. And it ends with her, like, I guess somewhat accepting Islam. But it was just kind of like you didn't know. Now, this book, Love After Midnight, by the title, I'm guessing she just finally came to grips that Midnight don't want her. Because in the second book, she's still trying to pine for Midnight. Because her soul, when it's going through purgatory, is just whisking her away to different stuff. And she went to where Midnight was living with his wife over in Africa, in the Sudan. And she still was pining for him. So I guess in this book, her one of her youngest twin sisters, who was adopted by Midnight after everything fell apart, she decided, I guess she decided to let it go, because I'm still trying to, I didn't even buy this book, because I bought the first two. I'm not buying it. It just happened to come up on Spotify, and I'm trying to listen to the audio, but I don't know why Sister Souljah decided she would be the best person to do that. It's clearly she old. They got a little lisp, and it's like, no, you're not giving the sensuality of Winter Santiago. And then Winter is still talking like that gutter-ass 18-year-old that's still in the projects. I'm like, you have went to jail for being dumb. You've literally been face to face with the devil. You've been to hell and back, literally. And you still are this dumb. There's no character development for Winter Santiago at all. She has no character development. It's cringe to hear this woman talk. It's like, I understand there's women out there, but my thing is like, damn, this girl is still stupid. I'm going to be honest. All the damn scenes in this book, and the last two books, too, they just be drawn out. Like, she'll take a whole chapter to discuss something that happened in 5 or 10 minutes. Reading some of her chapters in her books is like watching an episode of Tyler Perry's House of Pain. If you watch House of Pain, you'll know they'll be in like the living room or the kitchen, and they will drag one damn scene out for 3 episodes. And it's like, God damn. Seriously? And that's pretty much what it is. I'm really believing this woman didn't write none of these book. Because, like, I mean, she wrote all these. She didn't write The Coldest Winter Ever. Because every one of these books, long, drawn out tangents of scenery, of objects, all all she talk about is like brand name clothing, and like I said, it's just everything just be drawn out. It's just like, get to the point. Like, good God, she pretty much, I heard her painting a picture. This woman is stenciling, painting the picture, turning into a damn cartoon. She taking it through the whole process. Like, I just really, and it's like be loaded with just Islam is this and Islam is that, and it's just, like I said, all her stuff is just long and drawn out. So, from the reviews I've read, they say it ends on a cliffhanger. But I want to say this Sister Souljah, this last book you wrote about Winter Santiago needs to be the last book you write about Winter Santiago. Cause like this, her story ain't going nowhere. Like, she just still ignorant, and I'm just still confused. Like, you actually came that close to death and eternal damnation, and you still don't get it. So, yeah, I can't. Man, please let this be the end of her story. Now, something I've been thinking about. Speaking of stories, movies are pretty much stories. And I've had to sit there and think about it. And I've had to think about movies where, you know how you have a villain or so in the movie. And I had to think about some movies where the villain who we think is the villain, actually the villain really is somebody else that's the villain. And I'm going to talk about 5 movies and the people in those movies who is really the villain. Coming in number 5 on this list of the people who's really the villain is from the movie Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. And that's Papa Jenkins, who was played by the late, great James Earl Jones. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Everybody talks about Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. I do not like Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. And let me explain why I don't like Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. And it's nothing to do with the comedy or the acting in there, because Martin did his thing in there. Monique did her thing in there. Cedric the Entertainer did his thing in there. Mike Epps did his thing in there. Even the late Michael Clark Duncan showed some comedic chops. But the movie was so horrible. They treated Roscoe, played by Martin Lawrence, so horrible. They were just so toxic to her. And the main ringleader was Papa Jenkins. No matter what Roscoe did, this man never gave that boy credit for nothing. Everybody just treated him bad. They dogged him and all that. And the movie ends with he just accepting that, said, well, his family's not perfect. That family, I'm like, that's bullshit. I ain't going for that. They toxic. You need to stay away from them. Like, only person he should have been messing with was Mama Jenkins, who was played by the great Mary Avery, who y'all knew played Suge Avery in the 1985 film adaptation of Color Purple. That's the only person he should have been messing with. Because everybody else in that family wasn't worth a damn to him. They wasn't worth a damn to him. And I remember leaving the theater like, this is garbage. But like I said, not because of the comedy. And to be honest with you, that's some of the best acting I've ever seen Martin Lawrence do. Like, the scene when he told him, he said, well, Clyde lost his, which is the character that said in the same play to because he said Clyde lost his father, why I had to lose mine? Why, Daddy? That was good. That was right up there. And from the scene in Life where Martin played Clyde, and Clyde was at the bus stop in the 70s and realized he lost 40 years of his life. Like, those are two of the best examples of acting by Martin. Like, nothing with the acting, nothing with, I just didn't like the message how the family treated him. He accepted, like, yeah, I'm not messing with it. And that's because of Papa Jenkins. Now, coming in number 4 on villains, he's gonna be the oddball in this one because the rest of the movies I'm talking about, they consider like black films or black classics, mind you. And this really was, it's a sports drama. But from the 1994 movie Blue Chips, Pete Bell, played by Nick Nolte. Blue Chips is about the Western University Dolphins basketball program, who was supposed to be the UCLA Bruins. If you look at the color of their uniforms, their court, and the fact that the school's in LA, you know it's supposed to be UCLA. They just had to not get away with defamation of character. Pete Bell had his first losing season, and he wants to get top-notch recruits, aka blue chips. So he realized in order to get a lot of these blue chippers, he's going to have to start shelling out money. He doesn't want to. Like, 3 recruits he wants. One is played by Penny Hardaway. Another was played by Shaquille O'Neal. Another was played by a young man named Matt Norver, who was a college basketball star at Indiana at the time. Penny Hardaway's character's mom wants a new house and a job. Matt Norver's character his father wants a new tractor for his farm. Shaq's character don't want anything. Now, Pete Bell, he always viewed himself as a scrupulous coach. He's like, I don't get dirty. I don't do that. I play by the rules and this, that, and the third. He didn't want to give nobody money and anything. But he finally decides to pay these kids to play, pay them what they want, ends up having a great team. At the end of the movie, he admits that they bought the kids, he quits his job and all that. Now, he's the villain in there. And I'm going to say this because a lot of people don't know, there was once upon a time when NIL was one of the things. As a matter of fact, it wasn't that long ago. It was like maybe 3-4 years ago. NIL was one of the things. These kids want to get paid. These colleges used to make millions and millions of dollars off these kids. And these kids can't even ask these people $5 to go get something to eat at Burger King. Back when $5 could get you something to eat at Burger King, because now $5 can only get you a small Sprite. That's about it. And he's trying to act like I'm for everything right and this, that, and the third. But it's like you make all this money and them kids don't get nothing, because the person they tried to paint as the villain in that movie, the head booster played by Happy Cock Dog played by J.T. Walsh, he told him straight to his face one night outside of a restaurant. He said, you make all this money and what these kids get in return? Nothing. You owe them this money. They made us think that Happy was the villain growing up. Happy was really the hero. Now that I'm an adult. You know, Pete Bell was full of shit. And all you coaches who talk about, it's about amateur this and amateur that. Okay, well then why you got that six-figure multi-million-dollar salary then? If it's all about the amateur and the student athlete aspect of the sport. Yeah. So Pete Bell was coming in number 4 as one of the worst, as the actual villain of a movie. Now coming in number 3. This is fitting because this woman is really a villain in real life, to me. That's Ronnie from Men's Society, played by Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm going to say why Ronnie was the villain. She was a villain, but she was a big hypocrite because she didn't want her son getting influenced by all those guys in the neighborhood, but she constantly was out with them and all them guys in the neighborhood. So I actually got my hand on the original script of Men's Society. So you know when Kane meets Alina and that little picnic that he was at where he met her at. So in the script they actually called it a cryptic. Cause you know when Kane like, man, which one of y'all fools threw this picnic together anyway? In the script he said, which one of y'all fools threw this cryptic together? For those of y'all don't know, Kane stayed in Jordan Downs. Jordan Downs is the turf of Grape Street Crips. So if y'all ever look in the back of like Men's Society, remember the scene where they was in the alleyway and the cop car pulled up and everybody take off running? In that alleyway, if you look behind you, somebody's wearing a Mighty Ducks t-shirt. And the reason they're wearing a Mighty Ducks t-shirt is because that's Grape Street's colors. Obviously grape, so it's purple. So that was a little hint that it was Grape Street Crips. So in the leader scene, she's actually there because she had a daughter in the movie that got cut in the original story, and they're watching a softball game her daughter's in that's right by the picnic. It's like, and then the whole party she had at the end, you got all them guys in there drinking beer, ain't none of them over 21. And then on top of that, she sitting there fiending for Kane. This is a whole child. Meaning you ain't just start feeling this way because this boy turned 18. You've been pining for this boy. You know, but you don't want your son to be influenced, end up like them. but yet you got all this evil elements around him. What do you think he gonna end up like? Why you think that part where he's like, let me get a drink when he was on the porch right before her and Kane did it? What you think? So she was a villain, like the biggest villain in there. Like I said, wasn't like Alina's cousin, wasn't the cops, wasn't even Kane the villain of himself or his surroundings. It was her, to me. Coming in number 2, one of the biggest movie villains, Yvette on Baby Boy, played by Taraji P. Henson. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I know Taraji P. Henson is a great actress, because I'm going to be honest, a lot of her characters she played, I can't absolutely stand. Couldn't stand Yvette and Baby Boy. Couldn't stand Cooking Lion on Empire. That's when I had to realize this woman is a great actress. I sure hate the damn character she played. Yvette was a villain because Yvette was, one, she was an enabler. She let Jody drag her ass through the mud. Let him keep her up there, keep getting abortions. Letting this man constantly take her car, got her walking with her child, bumming rides to work in this, that, and the third. Only thing this man got to do is lay the pipe real good, and she gonna forget about everything. Then on top of that, she's telling her ex-boyfriend all of Jody and them business on the phone. Then let's that same boyfriend who played by Snoop Dogg, I forgot, because I ain't gonna lie, Snoop Dogg was a dick in that movie, but I ain't gonna lie, he was charismatic up until the point where he tried to like sexual assault her. I ain't gonna lie, I like Snoop Dogg's character. Then on top of that, this is what really did it for me, was the fact that when Jody came to pick up the little boy, she done left this little boy at the house with a man she don't know and his thug got ass homies. And then what does she do at the end? She ends up getting pregnant with another baby and engaged to a man who still ain't got no real job. You didn't put your baby in harm's way and then probably jeopardize your damn future. That is why I do not like Yvette, and she come in at number 2. And I hated BT for playing that movie over and over again. Because that's the reason why that's one of the reasons we probably got so many dysfunctional relationships right now. Now, coming in at number 1, I'm not going to lie. When I was a little boy, I saw this movie. I just thought this woman in everybody's business. She bitter and this, that, and the third. But now that I'm an adult, she really was not the victim. She really should have just went crazy and really like broke ties with everybody, and she honestly, God, should have took that knife to her ex-husband and her cousin. And that, well, no, the victim is Terry, but the villain of this in this movie, Soul Food, I'm talking about, but the villain of that movie is Maxine, played by Vivica A. Fox. Maxine was trifling as trifling gets. First of all, you stole Terry's boyfriend. Then you sat up and had 2 kids, and you're pregnant with a third, and and your sister got to see this every Sunday when she come to dinner. You ain't footing the bill on none of the shit y'all need. Mom in the hospital, sister wedding need to be paid for. Then later on in the movie, when Liam went to jail, because they said Terry's the reason why he went. No, Terry was being what an older sister's supposed to do. You came and I think you didn't beat up on my sister. I'm going to get one of my cousins to come beat that ass. That's what any sister's supposed to do. If she ain't going to try to put hands on him herself. And, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, just like I look back, like when Maxine say, Terry, why you got to let everybody know you paid for everything? And Terry say, because I do. And I feel Terry like, bitch, I do. Like, what to the hell? I do pay for everything. You know, I do everything for y'all, and I don't get no love in return. Or like, I don't get nothing on the back. Then Maxine, what really pissed me off, Maxine had the nerve So when Cousin Faith came in, you know, the hoish cousin that a lot of us have, talking about some, she can stay with Miles and Terry. No, she can't stay with me and me, Kenny, and the kids. How you just gonna volunteer Terry's house like that? You just volunteer her house? She don't get no say. So like, you don't want her staying with your husband, but it's okay for her to stay with your sister husband. They had the nerve to be shocked when you found out that she slept with Miles. Then had the nerve to sit down there and bring Terry and tell Terry we had lawyers and all this. Look over this and we gonna stop your junction sale the house and all that. Like, talking about some, that's not right. You taking all this out on us. Bitch, y'all the cause of my damn trauma. That's why, honest to God, I didn't even blame Terry. When Maxine did all that and said, we doing all this, and Terry just looked at her and just said, fine, got up and walked away. She said, that's all you got to say. Bert, like, Terry, don't leave. Terry, like, fuck y'all. I'm done with this. And I don't blame Terry. Like, growing up, they had us thinking that Terry was just the worst. I mean, ain't gonna lie, even watching the movie, like, damn, this woman is bitter. She can't style people's business. She thinks she's better than everybody. Now as an adult, I'm like, Terry should have killed all of them. She should have slid all of them. And honest to God, what Terry did in that scene when her, Bird, and Maxine was in a restaurant, Maxine said it, it's something that a lot of us need to do. And it's something that I've done with some family members. I ain't finna go back and forth with you. Say you said your piece, you didn't disrespect me. I just get up, put my coat on, fine, walk out, fuck you. I don't care no more. Like, you can see me on, next time you can see me is on Judgment Day. And it's where you going, and if God show me fit, we ain't gonna go into the same place. We ain't gonna go to the same place. The last time I see you in line on Judgment Day, and that's the last I got to see for you this side of heaven. So yeah, those are the 5 villains, the real villains of movies. That's been my time on the porch, man. You know, y'all can find me on Facebook. Y'all know the name. You can follow me on Instagram, PeteYMac10, PeteYMac10, or follow me on TikTok, PeteYMac89, spelled the same way as it is for Instagram. Just drop the 1 to 0 and put an 8 and 9 in its place. Until next week and our next time on the porch, be cool, stay calm, and get paid. Peace.